After all, what's better for building muscle after 40, free weights or machines? This is one of the oldest debates in weightlifting. On one side, we have free weights, dumbbells, barbells, and kettlebells, which recruit stabilizer muscles and require coordination. On the other, machines that offer safety and allow you to take the muscle to failure with less risk. But does the fact that you can go to failure without fear on a machine bench press compensate for the lack of stabilization and therefore greater muscle recruitment that we have in a barbell bench press? Today you'll finally have your answer, as we'll analyze, based on science, the pros and cons of each, showing you exactly in which situations each strategy might be better. Before we begin, tell me in the comments your name and how long you've been training. Let's start by analyzing the advantages of weight machines. Advantage number 1, easy to use. Weight machines were designed with ease of use in mind. Most have clear illustrations about how to position yourself and which muscles will be worked, making life much easier for beginners. Unlike free weights, which require prior knowledge of execution techniques, machines automatically guide the movement. This ease has a direct impact on your confidence, especially after 40, when many fear getting injured at the gym. You simply adjust the weight, position your body as indicated, and perform the movement. The machine takes care of the rest. What many don't realize is that this simplicity eliminates the entry barrier for many people. Without having to worry about complex technique, you can focus on what really matters: muscle contraction and exercise intensity. For those returning to training after a long break or starting later in life, this means faster results with less frustration. Advantage number 2, better isolation of specific muscles. One of the most important characteristics of machines is their ability to isolate specific muscle groups. While free weights frequently recruit multiple muscles simultaneously, machines allow you to focus all tension exactly where you want it. This characteristic is particularly valuable after 40, when many of us have already developed muscle imbalances throughout life. Perhaps your quadriceps are much stronger than your hamstrings, or your chest is disproportionately developed compared to your shoulders. With machines, you can direct the work precisely to these weak points. The secret lies in the movement restriction they provide. By limiting movement to a single plane, you eliminate the participation of stabilizer and secondary muscles, concentrating all tension on the target muscle. For those seeking hypertrophy after 40, this ability to create specific tension is extremely valuable. Advantage number 3, less fatiguing than free weights. A frequently neglected aspect about machines is that they produce significantly less central nervous system fatigue. Since you don't need to coordinate dozens of stabilizer muscles simultaneously, your brain and nervous system are spared from a great effort. For those over 40, this can be especially relevant. We know that recovery capacity naturally decreases with age, and excessively fatiguing workouts can compromise not only your next training sessions, but also other day-to-day activities. With machines, you can train with high intensity without feeling completely exhausted afterward. This allows more frequent training sessions, greater total weekly volume, and, consequently, more stimulus for hypertrophy, all without overloading your system. Advantage number 4, safer for training to failure alone. Training to muscle failure is a proven strategy to maximize hypertrophy. The problem is that with free weights, this can be extremely dangerous without a training partner. Imagine failing in the middle of a bench press with a barbell. The situation can quickly become risky. Machines completely eliminate this risk. You can take your muscles to the absolute limit, knowing there's no danger of getting stuck under a bar or losing control of a heavy dumbbell. This is an invaluable benefit, especially after 40, when the consequences of training accidents tend to be more serious. Now that we know the main advantages of machines, let's analyze their weaknesses. Disadvantage number 1, may not fit individual biomechanics. One of the biggest limitations of machines is that they follow a predetermined movement pattern designed for an average person who, in reality, doesn't exist. We all have unique body proportions, longer or shorter arms, longer trunks or not, different leg lengths. The consequences of this biomechanical inadequacy can be serious, especially after 40. When we force our body to follow a movement pattern that isn't natural for our structure, we increase the risk of repetitive use injuries and joint discomfort. Imagine doing a leg press on a machine that doesn't allow positioning your feet in the ideal way for your proportions. After hundreds of repetitions, this can overload your knees or lower back. Disadvantage number 2. Less transfer to functional strength. Machines isolate specific muscles in controlled movement patterns, but real life doesn't work like that. In everyday life, your muscles work in an integrated way in complex patterns to lift grocery bags, pick up your grandchildren, or move furniture around the house. This lack of transfer to daily activities is a serious limitation of machines. When you train exclusively on them, you develop muscles that are strong only in isolated and controlled movements, but which may not translate that strength to functional tasks that require coordination and integrated muscle work. The consequences of this become more evident precisely after 40, when maintaining functionality becomes as important as aesthetics. There's no point having visually muscular legs if you have difficulty climbing stairs or getting up from the floor. Strength in the real world requires your muscles to work together with your nervous system in a coordinated manner. Disadvantage number 3. Fixed movement limits naturalness. Natural human movements rarely happen in a single fixed plane. When you pick up an object from the floor or reach for something on a high shelf, your body performs a complex sequence of three-dimensional movements. Machines, however, restrict you to a rigid and predetermined movement path. This limitation has important consequences. By training exclusively on machines, you fail to develop the small stabilizer muscles that are crucial for joint health and injury prevention. These muscles are activated precisely by the small adjustments and corrections we make during free movements. For people over 40, this is particularly problematic. As we age, our proprioception naturally decreases. Training only on machines can accelerate this decline, as you stop challenging and keeping these important neural systems active. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Having constant access to science-based information is what will make you progress with health in the long term in the weightlifting world. Now let's look at the advantages of free weights. Advantage number 1. Recruit more muscles simultaneously. One of the most powerful characteristics of free weights is their ability to activate multiple muscle groups in a single exercise. While performing a barbell squat, for example, you're not just working quadriceps and glutes. Your abdominal muscles, spinal erectors, hamstrings, and even back muscles are intensely recruited to stabilize the movement. This broad recruitment has profound implications for those looking to build muscle after 40. First, it maximizes the production of anabolic hormones like testosterone and GH, which naturally tend to decrease with age. Research shows that compound exercises with free weights significantly elevate these hormones compared to isolated exercises. The secret lies in the metabolic and mechanical stress distributed over a large muscle area. When you train with free weights, your body perceives the exercise as a systemic challenge, not just local, and responds more robustly. For people over 40, who already experience natural hormonal decline, this amplified response can make a substantial difference in results. Advantage number 2. More functional. The functionality of free weights is directly linked to how we move in the real world. When you lift a box from the floor, push a car that stopped, or help carry furniture, your body is performing three-dimensional movements against resistance, exactly what free weights reproduce. This characteristic becomes especially valuable after 40, when maintaining functional capacity becomes as important as aesthetics. Free weights not only build muscles, but also strengthen the neuromuscular connections that allow applying that strength in everyday situations. A frequently neglected aspect is how free weights improve balance and proprioception. They require you to constantly feel your body's position in space and make tiny adjustments with each repetition. This ability is crucial for preventing falls and injuries as we age. Advantage number 3. Natural movements without fixed pattern. Our bodies weren't designed to move on fixed tracks as machines impose. Each person has unique body proportions, different limb lengths, and individual movement patterns. Free weights respect this individuality, allowing you to find the most natural and efficient movement path for your specific structure. This freedom of movement has profound benefits, especially after 40. It allows you to subtly adjust angles and trajectories to avoid points of pain or joint discomfort, something we frequently develop with age. If your right shoulder has a history of injury, for example, you can slightly adapt the dumbbell bench press movement, something impossible on a machine. What many people don't know is that this natural variability in movements better distributes joint stress, potentially reducing long-term wear. Instead of always overloading the exact same points of the joints, as happens on machines, free weights allow micro-variations that distribute the load across different structures. Advantage number 4. Versatile and efficient. The incredible versatility of free weights is a significant advantage, especially for those with limited time to train, a common reality after 40, with family and professional responsibilities. With just a barbell and a few pairs of dumbbells, you can literally train every muscle in the body through dozens of different exercises. This versatility allows almost unlimited adjustments. You can modify a movement simply by changing hand position, grip width, bench angle, or foot position. Each small variation emphasizes different muscle portions and offers new stimuli for growth. A frequently ignored benefit is spatial and financial efficiency. To train at home after 40, investing in some basic free weights offers many more options than bulky and expensive machines. A single Olympic barbell allows dozens of different exercises, while each machine typically performs only 1 or 2 movements. Advantage number 5. Better for overall strength development. Free weights are unmatched when the goal is to develop true strength, not just in isolated muscles, but strength that translates to any real-life situation. This occurs because they require you to generate force, while simultaneously stabilizing and controlling the weight in all directions. This characteristic is particularly valuable after 40, when strength maintenance becomes crucial for independence and quality of life. Studies show that people who regularly train with free weights tend to better preserve their muscle mass and strength as they age, compared to those who train exclusively on machines. What makes free weights superior for strength development is how they challenge your central nervous system. Your brain needs to perfectly coordinate motor unit recruitment, muscle activation sequence, and joint stabilization, a complete neurological training that machines simply can't replicate. This neurological complexity has an additional benefit often neglected. It improves communication between your brain and muscles, something that naturally decreases with age. Regular practitioners of free weight exercises report significant improvements in other activities that require coordination, such as recreational sports or even dancing. Now let's explore some important disadvantages of free weights. Disadvantage number 1. Steeper learning curve. An undeniable reality about free weights is that they require a significant investment of time and patience to be mastered. Unlike machines, where you basically sit down and perform a guided movement, barbell and dumbbell exercises demand refined technique that can take weeks or even months to be properly developed. The consequences of this steep learning curve are particularly relevant after 40. Many end up performing the movements incorrectly, which not only decreases the effectiveness of the exercise, but also dramatically increases the risk of injuries. A barbell squat executed with inadequate technique, for example, can easily overload the lower back or knees. An error I see many people making is trying to accelerate this process, adding weight before completely mastering the technique. This is especially problematic for joints that have already accumulated decades of use. Patience is absolutely essential here. Disadvantage number 2. Generate more fatigue. An often underestimated aspect of free weights is how exhausting they can be for the central nervous system. When you perform a compound exercise like the barbell squat, your brain is working hard to coordinate dozens of muscles simultaneously, maintain balance, and ensure movement safety. This systemic fatigue has direct consequences for those training after 40, when recovery naturally becomes slower. A heavy leg workout with free weights can leave you exhausted for days, impacting not only your next training sessions, but also your daily activities, professional and family responsibilities. For those living a busy life after 40, with multiple demands competing for your energy, this high recovery cost can be a significant problem. Some end up having to reduce training frequency or drastically decrease volume, which potentially limits hypertrophy gains. Additionally, this accumulated fatigue can negatively affect your sleep, another factor that tends to become more challenging with age. And we know that adequate sleep is absolutely essential for muscle recovery and anabolic hormones. Disadvantage number 3, more stress on joints. A legitimate concern about free weights, especially after 40, is the additional stress they impose on joints. Without the support and stability that machines offer, your knees, shoulders, spine, and elbows absorb significantly greater forces during training with free weights. The consequences of this additional joint stress can be serious for those who already accumulate decades of natural joint use or have pre-existing conditions such as early osteoarthritis. A heavy barbell bench press, for example, puts the shoulders in a potentially compromising position if the technique isn't perfect. A common mistake is thinking that mild joint pain during or after training is normal and should be ignored. In fact, this type of discomfort frequently signals inadequate technique or excessive load for your current condition, and consistently ignoring it can lead to chronic injuries that are difficult to treat. After analyzing in detail the advantages and disadvantages of both machines and free weights, it's clear that we don't need to choose exclusively one or the other. In fact, the most sensible approach, especially after 40, is to strategically combine both according to your specific goals and individual physical condition. As we've seen, machines offer safety, efficient muscle isolation, less fatigue, and the possibility of training to failure safely. On the other hand, free weights provide greater muscle recruitment, functionality, natural movements, versatility, and superior overall strength development. Each tool has its ideal place in your training arsenal. The question isn't which is better in absolute terms, but rather which is more appropriate for your specific circumstances. If you have injuries or joint discomfort, for example, it makes complete sense to use more machines to decrease stress on problematic areas. If your main goal is to improve your functional capacity for everyday activities, then free weights deserve prominence in your program. However, based on experience and scientific evidence, I can offer some general recommendations that apply to different levels of experience. For those just starting now, begin by prioritizing machines. They will allow you to develop an initial base of strength and muscle awareness in a safe and controlled manner. Focus on learning to feel the muscles working and understanding how your body responds to training, without worrying excessively about complex techniques. This will build confidence and drastically reduce the risk of initial injuries that could discourage your journey. For intermediates and advanced, the most effective approach is to combine both strategically. Use compound exercises with free weights as the foundation of your training to develop and maintain overall strength, maximum muscle recruitment, and coordination. Then, complement with machine exercises to isolate specific muscle groups, better manage fatigue, and allow sets taken to failure safely. This intelligent combination allows maximizing the benefits of both tools while minimizing their limitations. For example, you can start your leg workout with barbell squats for a complete stimulus, followed by leg press for additional volume with less joint stress, finishing with leg extension and leg curl for complete isolation of the quadriceps and hamstrings. Another very common controversy in gyms that continues to generate debate around the entire world is about fast repetitions versus slow repetitions. Which one works better for building muscle? If you want to find out, we've left a video appearing right now on the screen showing the pros and cons of each of these styles. Don't miss it. Thank you for watching this far, and may God bless you, my friend.